As we approach Veterans Day now, many Filipino veterans who served alongside U.S. troops during World War II are still awaiting benefits they were promised. This is the subject of a documentary called A Long March by Denver-based director Tammy Botkin. And Tammy joins us now alongside Mike Seambre with the Filipino Veterans Recognition Act. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate that. Yeah, Tammy, let's start off with you. We're going back some 80 years when Filipinos fought alongside American troops during World War II. Many people may not know about that history. In what capacity did these troops serve? Were they on the front lines, for example?
Absolutely. The history of this started in 1941 when the U.S. conscripted the forces of the Philippines into the United States Army. And Filipinos were serving in all kinds of roles throughout the war, on the front, in administrative roles, hospitals, nursing. If you can imagine it, Filipinos were in those roles.
Yeah, and they were promised these benefits, Mike. So what type of benefits were these veterans looking for?
They were looking for veterans benefits, one thing, and they also, veterans benefits, one thing, coming back to the States and having, forever be U.S. citizens.
Mm-hmm. Why weren't they given these benefits? I mean, what's the thinking there?
In the wise and the wisdom of Congress, they passed this Rescission Act, which said that they were not active duty. And so it took away all their benefits, period.
Tammy, what drew you to making this documentary?
There was some artwork that had been stored in my aunt and uncle's basement for about 40 years. My aunt passed away and I was helping my uncle go through the estate. And we cracked open this crate and it was full of paintings from 1944 that were depictions of the Bataan Death March and POW camps. And we didn't know what they were. So we kind of went down into history to understand, got connected with Mike here at FilVet and a whole new story from American history came out. And we were just shocked we didn't know.
What do you hope people get from this story mostly, Tammy?
First off, I think it's important for us to understand our full history and who we are, because we have ideas of who we are currently and they're being challenged, and part of that is because we don't know all of our history. So I think it's important as a collective to know our history, but also to make amends where we can. I think that this is another place where we find our identity as Americans is truly upholding our values. So when we discover these kinds of histories, to turn them around as much as we can.
Mike, has this issue ever been addressed by Congress? And what is the very latest there in terms of maybe changing this?
On that movement, we have just started trying to rescind the Rescission Act. It's in its infancy stages right now. In fact, there was a meeting last week with FilVet Rep. First of all, we have to have people to sponsor the bill. We have lawyers that pick out, certain parts of the Rescission Act, because it's a mess.
What is the feeling like when you talk to these veterans?
What has been most amazing, I think, is the conciliatory spirit that I find that these veterans have. Featured in the film is Celestino Almeida, not a bitter man at all, but one who is, also interested in helping us find our way forward together. And I'm hearing from many Filipino-Americans that I've been talking to that they feel like they've been erased, that their contributions to this country have been erased. The title, Veteran of the United States, that's what's missing for many of these veterans. And that is where it really hurts, that they're not considered on par with the mainland soldiers that they served with.
Tammy and Mike, thank you so much for being here and telling us this part of history. We appreciate it. And if you'd like to learn more, we will have more on our website, cbscolorado.com.